It is 2 minutes after 4 o'clock. You are tuned to 96.3 FM, WLCN. It's time for the 4 p.m. 411. We are in studio as usual. We have a pair of guests today, Bill Dolan and Gwenda Sutton. They are from the Salvation Army Lincoln 360 Life Center. And both of you, thanks for joining us today.
Glad to be here.
Absolutely. So, it is, we're past Thanksgiving, so we're into the Christmas season and the holiday season. And one thing I think of when I'm out and about shopping is the red kettles and the bell ringing. And I know you folks have a lot of things going on with that. That seems like a pretty big undertaking. Can you tell us a little about what goes into that, and maybe if there's anything you might need, like from the public, like in addition to donations, maybe volunteers or things like that?
Yeah, we are very busy. We have a lot going on. Got our bell ringing, of course. We started that on November 1st. And we've got 5 locations around Lincoln where we are ringing: Walmart, Walgreens, IGA, Farm and Home, and also Guest House. And we've got lots of locations that need to be filled. So yes, we need bell ringers. They can register through registertoring.com if they want to register themselves, or they can call our local office at 217-732-7890.
Okay, and that was registertoring.com, you said?
Correct.
Okay, very good. And so when does that campaign officially start, when people go out and start ringing the bells, and how long does it last?
Basically, they decide what day and what time they want to ring, and then usually it's a 2-hour segment. Okay. And so so let's say they want to do Wednesday at 8 o'clock in the morning, they would ring 8 to 10. Okay. And so on the website, they would designate 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on the website, and they would select the location that they want to ring at.
Okay. And then are there certain starting and stopping hours when the bell ringing takes place?
Yeah, 8 a.m. is when it starts, and it ends at 8 p.m.
Okay. So.
And we ring until 6 p.m. Christmas Eve.
Okay, very good. And how many shifts is that you have to fill? I would guess it's got to be a couple hundred at least by the time you take.
Yeah, it's anywhere from 150 to 180.
Okay. So yes, if anyone out there looking to volunteer, as we said, registertoring.com, or what was the phone number again? I'm sorry.
217-732-7890.
7890. So in addition to the bell ringing, I understand there's a particular challenge that might appeal to NFL fans.
Yeah, we're excited about this. I know not everybody's a football fan, but for those that are, just as baseball fans are split between the Cubs and the Cardinals, we know that many football fans are split between the Packers and the Bears, as well as other teams. But in this particular case, some of our staff members are Packers fans, and so we are dividing Packers to Bears. So on this Saturday, the 3rd, you have the opportunity, those of you out there listening have the opportunity to support the Salvation Army in this kind of fun way out at Farm and Home all day, or as long as we have bell ringers out there. We'll have 2 kettles, and we'll have one for Packers and one for Bears, and whichever kettle raises the most funds will be recognized for that. So, okay. Yeah, we're excited about that.
All right, very good. And you say that's at the Farm and Home location this Saturday, which would be the 3rd, and then, as you mentioned, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m.
That's right.
Provided there are ringers there. So,
correct.
Okay, very good.
I'd also like to point out one thing.
Okay, go ahead.
Bears-Packers ring-off last year. The Bears won, of course. As you can tell, I am a Bears fan. Last year, yes, the Bears won by $20. So it was close. Aaron Rodgers did not own us then at that time. But yes, last year the Bears won by $20. So we are encouraging, if you're a Bears fan, if you're a Packers fan, to just come on out, show your colors, show your spirit, and help us raise those funds as well. And just go for your team. So our director mentioned that maybe the Bears won by those $20 because last year we did not have a Bears volunteer. And so this year we're really looking for someone other than that green and gold to be out there. We want that orange and blue.
Okay.
So we invite you to come on out. Just call the number, as our chaplain said, Bill Dolan. Just call the number 217-732-7990. 7890.
Okay, very good. So, yes, I meant to ask you that when we started off. Bill, you're the chaplain with the organization.
That's correct. Yeah.
And Gwenda, what is your official title?
I am a case manager with the Pathway of Hope program.
Okay.
So we have a lot of services that we offer people in the community, particularly families as well as individuals, but that dealing with homelessness.
Okay.
So if emergency homeless situations, impending homeless situations, we help with that.
Okay, very good. And we'll talk a little bit more about some of the services the organization offers as we move along here. If anyone out there has questions, or maybe you've benefited from the services of the Salvation Army Lincoln 360 Life Center, 217-648-5510 is the number to the studio here if you'd like to give us a call and talk with our guests. In addition, you can send in questions by email, 4pm411@wlcnonline.com. But we have Bill Dolan and Gwenda Sutton here in the studio with us for another 22 minutes or so. Next week, be sure and tune in. Tracy Welch, the mayor of Lincoln, will be making his monthly appearance the first Tuesday of the month, so we'll be talking with him then. But as I said, Mr. Bill Dolan and Gwenda Sutton are with us today. Let's see. We've talked about volunteers and the Red Kettle services. So the funds raised from the Red Kettle campaign, does that just kind of cover organizational operating costs, or is that designated for certain projects, or how are those funds used?
The Salvation Army is primarily operating under donations, and I'm not just speaking of staff overhead operations, but our services. The predominant amount of our support is from donations. So we do get a little bit from other sources, but predominantly it is almost 100% donations. And so all of the programs that Gwenda was just referring to, as well as salaries, things of that nature, are all through the donations. And one of the confusions we often face with those that call us, this question is, does the money we give stay in Lincoln? Mm-hmm. And the answer is yes. Okay. Usually people get a piece of mail that has a city address on it. Mm-hmm. That location is our processing center for all donations. But all donations are based on the zip code on the check. Mm-hmm. So if the check has 62656 on it, then be assured that it's going to go to 62656.
Okay, very good. So good information to know there. Once again, our guests are Bill Dolan and Gwenda Sutton. They're with the Salvation Army Lincoln 360 Life Center. It is just about 10 after 4, so we'll go ahead and take our first break, and we will be back with more from them right after this. On the 4 p.m. 411, our guests today, Bill Dolan and Gwenda Sutton with the Salvation Army Lincoln 360 Life Center. I'm going to mess that up before we're done here, I'm sure of it. But thank you to both of you for joining us today. Yeah. We were talking earlier about some of the... sorry, I'm punching too many buttons here. Talking about some of the services offered, talking about the Red Kettle campaign and the... bell ringing and the need for volunteers. But we also started to talk about, was it the Pathways program that you're a part of?
Pathway of Hope.
The Pathway of Hope. So in addition to the Pathway of Hope, I know there are a whole multitude of services that your organization offers. It's only a half-hour show, so I know we probably couldn't get through all of them, but could you maybe hit some of the highlights, maybe things that people aren't aware of that your organization offers that folks might be interested in hearing about?
Okay. Bill?
Well, we do. We do offer assistance, utility assistance. Okay. We do help with American water bills as well as Ameren. We oversee the Warm Neighbors Cool Friends program. LIHEAP is covered through Community Action. Mm-hmm. We cover the Warm Neighbors Cool Friends, which is the more middle to upper income, where LIHEAP is more of the lower income.
Okay.
And so a person can't qualify for both. They're either or. Mm-hmm. And so, so we help with that. We do a school supply drive in the summertime. We have free summer camps for kids during the summer. We have a section of our what we do called Emergency Disaster Services, and this is where we are on the scene in the case of a flood. Several years ago, there was a plane crash on I-55. We were on the scene to provide support to the first responders, and there was a car that landed off a bridge here early in the year in January. We were there also providing assistance for the first responders. So we are there to help out whenever there's a disaster of some kind. So whatever funds are given to help, not just to get somebody food in the food pantry, mm-hmm.
But
also, if their house burns down, we can put them in a hotel for the night. Mm-hmm. So yeah, all the funds they're not going just to make sure we have padded chairs to sit in.
Right, and something you mentioned there is the food pantry program.
Yeah.
That's another service that your organization offers that maybe folks aren't as aware. Is it Tuesdays and Thursdays, I believe?
Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Okay.
Yeah, that is correct. From 10
to 4, I believe.
4, yes.
Yeah, I put together a community calendar, so I've seen the time. Did I see something on your Facebook page? Maybe back during the spring about music lessons for kids?
Yes, that's what I was going to mention. Our music academy, it was scheduled to start in September, but we did not have enough attendees at the time, or people signed up. It is still open, so we look to open it possibly next year.
Okay.
But that will be for, I believe, 1st through 6th graders.
Okay.
And it will offer mostly brass or band instruments. And so we are excited about that, but we did get a slower start on that, so we didn't get the turnout that we were expecting at that time, but we're still very excited about that. Another thing, we are starting financial planning classes, but it's just basic financial information about budgeting and how to make tough choices during times where you have to decide which bill to pay and which one, dating and knowing your income, what's coming in, how much you're spending out. So smaller things like that, but that simple common sense things that will help you stabilize your financial situation.
Okay.
Going back to the food pantry a minute, people have to come. We've got 5 food pantries, I think, in Lincoln. Mm-hmm. And people have to come to each food pantry to get food. We are going to be starting, if we have enough volunteers, we are starting a mobile canteen where we are going to use our Emergency Disaster Services vehicle. It's a big van canteen, and we are going to travel from city to city, basically 4 cities we've selected throughout Logan County, and once a week we're going to visit one of those cities with food pantry.
Oh, very
So
nice.
we're bringing the food pantry to the people,
Right.
so long as we have enough volunteers.
Sure.
So that's in the works.
Okay, very good. And again, if people are interested in learning more about any of these
Yes.
programs that we're talking about, 217-732-7890 is the number to call.
Yes.
Okay, very good. So we've talked about the bell ringing and the Red Kettle campaign, but you've got other methods where you're going to be raising funds. I believe you've got an event coming up on the 12th. Let's
Yeah, we
talk
do.
about that.
On December the 12th, we are going to be, and we're so thankful to Mama's Arcade for doing this. I guess they've done this with other organizations as well. It's a community meal. They package up a meal, a nice hot meal, chicken and noodles, I think, with green beans and all kinds of good stuff. And they cook it, they prepare it, they box it up, and we as a staff will have the privilege of passing that food out to people that come to the restaurant. Now, the key is you can't just go up and get free food. You have to buy a ticket ahead of time in order to get that food.
Okay.
And so all of the staff and the board members of the Salvation Army have tickets with them, with us. So people, if they find us, they can come up and say, I want 5 of those tickets.
Okay.
And if they don't find any of us, they can come by our local office, which is at 307 North Kickapoo in Lincoln.
Okay.
And we're usually open 10 until 4, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And they can come by and get any number of tickets. And the more tickets that sell, the better, it'll be a fundraiser for us. We get 50%
Oh, wow.
of the ticket cost coming back to us at the Salvation Army.
Oh,
So we're
that's
so thankful for Mama's Arcade doing that for us.
Yeah, that's outstanding. And do you happen to know how much the tickets cost?
$9.
$9, okay. And is there a cutoff date? Can people get them up to the 12th, or do they need to be like a few days ahead of time just so they can have a count on the meals? Or
I'd say at least by the 10th.
okay, all right, very good. So once again, another way if you can't make it out to the Red Kettle, everyone's got to eat. So the Mama's Arcade fundraising dinner with the chicken and noodles, with half of the proceeds going to the Salvation Army Lincoln 360 Life Center. And that dinner, once again, is on December 12th, when I believe it's usually like 4:30 to 6:30. People come and pick up the meals.
Yes,
on that date.
I believe so.
Somewhere around that.
Yeah.
Other dinners I've seen have been around that time
Right.
frame. But
Yeah.
again, if you contact Salvation Army staff or their board members and purchase your tickets, they will, tickets will have all the information on them. So another good way to support the local Salvation Army. So we've talked about services offered. We've talked about chances for people to volunteer and
We were
donate.
talking about services a little bit ago. One of the services that we haven't mentioned, which is really exciting, but we haven't, we've done this for several years now, and that's what we call our GPD program. We house homeless veterans in our building. For those that know of the Keith Center, the upstairs is designed as a shelter, and everyone's always wondered what we do with the shelter upstairs, and whether we have home, whether it's a shelter for anybody to stay in, and we haven't had anybody up there for a long time for a number of logistical reasons. But several years ago, we were approached with the idea of housing homeless veterans through the VA and through SSDF. And so through this grant per diem program, we've opened the upstairs for homeless veterans. These are veterans that are homeless, and the program is designed to get them into secure housing, possibly into employment. If they have no income, to plug them into employment income. If they don't have resources, to plug them into resources, and just to kind of give them a hope, to get them off the street.
Sure.
And so all the donations also that are given also go to help support that. So we're also really excited about that program.
All right, very good. So lots of services from the Salvation Army Lincoln 360 Life Center. We're at just after 20 after, so we'll go ahead and take our second break, but we will be back after the break with Bill Dolan and Gwenda Sutton, and we welcome your calls and questions or comments, 217-648-5510 here on the 4 p.m. 411.
If you love them enough to crawl into a play place to get them to come down, then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the right seat to make sure they're in the right car seat.
We are back on the 4 p.m. 411. Our guests in studio today are Bill Dolan and Gwenda Sutton with the Salvation Army Lincoln 360 Life Center. And as we've talked about a variety of topics related to the Salvation Army, and probably the most iconic, as we were talking about during the break, the Red Kettle campaign.
Yes, the Red Kettle. I just want to remind everyone that when you give and donate to the Salvation Army, it's not a fly-by-night type of organization. The Salvation Army has been in effect since at least the early 1900s. Okay. And that Red Kettle and that bell ringing has become an international icon. So that when you are giving to the Salvation Army, when you're giving of your time, your talents, and volunteering, you are really helping to support the community here in Lincoln, Logan, and surrounding counties, as well as across the globe. So we just want you to know your dollars are sure, your time is sure, is being effective, and we appreciate every penny counts. Every penny counts. Of course, we love to have the hundreds of dollars, but every penny counts. Every amount counts. So whatever you can give, whatever amount of time you can give will be greatly appreciated, and it's not going somewhere where it's just going to fall to the ground, but the Salvation Army has a proven record, so you can be sure that you're giving into and sowing into good ground.
Absolutely. And as we mentioned, the Red Kettle campaign, sort of the icon is you walk up and you have some loose change or maybe some dollar bills. Yes. But times have changed now, and I understand there are some other ways folks can contribute.
Yeah, we've had several people that have given in the kettle, and in fact, we had several people put $100 bills in the kettle, so we're really pleased about that. We also have these little things called counter kettles that are located at various gas stations and other locations. I know we have a few at Thornton's and other places around town. If you see one of those counter kettles, it's a great place to just drop off some change if you bought gas or something at the convenience store. And but there's two other ways that a person can give if they don't feel comfortable putting money in the kettle. We have people every now and then say, "Oh, I'm mailing a check in." Well, if people want to mail in a check, they can send it to P.O. Box 52, Lincoln, Illinois 62656. That's P.O. Box 52, Lincoln, Illinois 62656, and that will come directly to us. We pick it up. It doesn't go to a middle person. Mm-hmm. And then if a person wants to give with a credit card or a debit card, they can also do that through a secured website that's been set up especially for this purpose. Nice. And the website is called LincolnILRedKettle.org. Okay. That's LincolnILRedKettle.org. And either one of those ways is a perfect way for people to give. Now, one of the other ways that you talked about modern advances in giving, at each kettle, we have an opportunity where a person can swipe their phone over this little thing that we have attached to the kettle, and they can make a credit card donation right off of their phone, right there at the kettle when they walk by. So they don't have to wait. They can do it right there, just swipe, 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 and they've made their donation.
Very nice. So, yeah, all sorts of opportunities to give in addition to the traditional coins or dollar bills or anyway. But as you said, every little bit helps. Talking about the upcoming Bears-Packers challenge on December 3rd, that was decided last year by $20, you said?
Yeah, the Bears won by 20.
So, yeah, maybe there's some Packer fans out there that would like to try and reverse that trend. And,
yeah, Chiefs fans aren't welcome this year.
Oh, they aren't welcome?
No, we're not.
Their money is, though.
That's right.
So we're talking with Bill Dolan and Gwenda Sutton from the Salvation Army Lincoln 360 Life Center. Got a couple more minutes left. 217-648-5510 if you would like to call in with a question or comment. We've been talking about the Red Kettle campaign, of course, popular this time of year, as well as some volunteer opportunities and other fundraising opportunities. Maybe for folks who weren't with us earlier, if you want to mention again the upcoming meal opportunity when folks can donate, or when the fund will benefit the funds will benefit the Salvation Army.
Ask the question again. My mind drifted.
Oh, that's okay. It was kind of long-winded. Just you want to tell folks again about the chicken and noodles, the fundraiser opportunity?
Yeah, we're really excited about this community meal that's going to be through Mama's Arcade on the 12th of December, and this will be in the afternoon. Our staff will be serving the meals. You just drive by and we hand you the box. It's a pre-cooked meal, nice piping hot meal that Mama's Arcade will be preparing, chicken and noodles, all kinds of good stuff. And we have tickets available, $9 per ticket, and you can get them from any of our staff or board members, or you can come by our local center at 307 North Kickapoo Tuesdays, Thursdays, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. That's when we're usually open for walk-ins. Okay. And they can come by and pick up 100 tickets if they want.
Yeah, very good. So the more you give, the better the benefits, or something.
That's right.
So
and I hear the meals freeze well.
Oh, okay, very good.
So they can buy 100 tickets and freeze 90 of them.
There you go. That sounds like a winner. So, and if anyone has more questions, once again, the number for the Salvation Army Lincoln 360 Life Center, 217-732-7890. If you're interested in volunteering, registertoring.com is the website, or you can call the center and sign up for a time that way. Anything I should have asked you about that I've forgotten about, or anything you wanted to be sure to mention that we haven't gotten to yet, either of you?
I just want to say I'm really impressed with the people that God has assembled to work at the Salvation Army. We have got a tremendous team of staff as well as volunteers. We've got some amazing volunteers, and we would love for people out there to join us, to join our team of volunteers. It's a rewarding thing. I volunteered for 5 or 6 years with Tony Schuff when he was the director, and now with Rachel Oney, who's the current director. And you start out as a volunteer, and then you want to stick around, and then you become staff. And so anybody that wants to be part of it, we've got something for everybody to do. So if they're interested in giving, an hour or give a week or whatever they want to do, they can call that number, 217-732-7890, and say, hey, I want to volunteer.
Okay. And speaking of joining, didn't you tell me, Gwenda, that you're fairly new to the staff?
Yes, I am. I joined I came on board in February of this year, and have been enjoying the ride ever since. There is never a dull moment, never a dull moment among the services we give, among the people who come and seek our services. And as Bill said, we do have a fantastic group and a fantastic group of volunteers, and also the people that come and what they give. Even though they need things, people are always willing to even give, even out of their need. So I appreciate learning so much more about the community here and the needs here, and just being a part of all that.
And I will say, Gwenda makes a good cup of coffee.
Well, that's important. That's important. So we're just at the bottom of the hour now. Our guests have been Bill Dolan and Gwenda Sutton from the Salvation Army Lincoln 360 Life Center. Once again, for those of you listening on the radio, we also live stream the show. So if you heard information and didn't quite get the phone number or website or whatever, if you want to hop onto YouTube and look at the WLCN YouTube page, you will see video of today's show, and you can get all that information. Bill and Gwenda, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you for having us.
Absolutely, and hopefully we'll have lots of donors and a successful campaign for you this year.
Thanks.
All right, so tune in next week. Our guest will be Tracy Welch, the mayor of Lincoln, and we will talk with him as we do each first Tuesday of the month. But this has been the 4 p.m. 411, and for Bill Dolan and Gwenda Sutton, I am Lloyd Kirby. Thank you for listening. The preceding program is a presentation of WLCN 96.3 FM and WLCNonline.com.